Nothing should be. I think everything should be good. Yeah, I think we're online. Yeah. Let me make sure on my phone. Yep. Oh, I gotta change the title. Hold on, guys. Pros. Pros. Yeah, I definitely gotta change the title. Alright. What's going on, y'all? It's ELI'S.JYESTHA. Blessed to have anybody that's on this channel. Thank you so much. I appreciate your view, your like, your dislike, your comments, your personal reasons in your mind. But we're going to be now getting into what I got for you guys, which is, of course, what is the characteristics of course, the sun, moon, ascendant, and Taurus. Now, with that being said, now that I'm going through this, like, sort of like, I would say, like, new idea, I am thinking, like, okay, even though I am saying in each video for now on that it's sun, moon, and of course ascendant dominantly, and or of course 2 or more planets in the sign of Taurus. Okay, this video is especially for you. But let's just say these pros and cons are tangible, and of course not just tangible but connected to each planet or each house because of how, because the sign is normally dominant. That's what I'm saying. So even though there's planets there, you know, if you have a planet there, that sign gets amplified, if that makes sense, whether it's good or bad, and whether the results is good or bad. But I'm going to be, and the reason why I say sun, moon, and ascendant is because when we're talking about this, right, the sun, moon, and ascendant, these are the natural big 3, of course, but these big 3 play the most natural reason for everybody to act the way they do. Okay, what is the sun? The sun is your expression. What is the moon? The moon is your subconscious, your feelings. What is your ascendant? The ascendant is you, what you do all the time, what you always do. Whether if that sign is a, you know, pattern type of sign, whatever it is you do, it's the ascendant. You know, that's the reason why. Of course, I say the big 3. These big 3s is highly have to be looked at like all the time. The sun, the moon, and the ascendant, whatever planet is, you know, the parent of that planet, or the home state of that planet, or whatever home that planet belongs to in that sign, then that's going to affect you too. For instance, if you have like your ascendant in Libra, okay, you're going to have to look at Venus every day. Because I say that because it gives a natural inclination of kind of like, it gives a natural inclination, right, to kind of follow how that planet is doing when it's transiting a sign. You get what I'm saying? Like, transit, I know this is off topic, but that's what I'm trying to say. Okay? Every planet is moving all the time, even if it's at a slow place, a more higher degree, just started degree. It is always moving, and every degree holds a prominent meaning. Okay, in every planet and every sign do. Okay, everything matters. Everything matters. Now all I'm thinking about is right now is Taurus, the second house of the zodiac sign. Okay. Now, with that being said, the reason why I'm showing my webcam today in my face is because the second house is the representation of how you look. Okay, so I'm gonna I should have had more energy in the first house video, but I don't know. I think I was just being myself. You get that? Being myself. You get that? No, I'm just kidding. Well, alright, we're gonna get into the pros, okay? And then cons probably will become later today if I have time, or tomorrow. I will 100% make time for you guys. I did some things for you guys, and I just want to say that I took every picture, I took every sign and just prepped it. I'm finna prep it, the pros and cons to every sign while today, and hopefully I can go later tonight in the cons and Taurus, and then we can move on accordingly, if that makes sense. But if you have the sun, moon, and Mars, or I said sun, moon, and Mars, the sun, moon, and your ascendant is in Taurus, okay, and you have Venus in Taurus too, or somewhere like in the strong, just, you know, if you have your rising sign in Taurus, then pay a little bit of attention to this. And I'll say, like, if you have a planet too, I know I keep saying 2 or more, but if you have a planet, you kind of want to know, like, well, naturally, what could be the good sign of this zodiac? What could be the prominent, natural, I would say, good things about each zodiac sign? Okay, when I come up to each zodiac sign, right, and just, like, I would say, like, day-to-day life, you come into every type of zodiac sign in everyday life. Every stranger, like strangers you don't even know, strangers you don't even know their sign, and let's say it's a good interaction. Let's say not even it's a good interaction. It's important people, and not even just that. Let's just say it's people that you've been looking for in a good way. You would never know what sign it is, because how many people, like, how many things stop everybody from meeting everybody? Does that make sense? Okay, I wrote down some pros for Taurus, and, like, as the time kind of got on, right, I kind of was like, damn, like, I need to go over Aries and probably re-go over, like, each sign and kind of, like, be more specified, if that makes sense. Like, right now I'm dropping just like, right, what I'm gonna do for you guys is just, of course, drop just, like, the normal pros, like, naturally what you might get from each zodiac sign that is good and bad. Okay, but I'm still, like, when it comes to the planet, I'm going to go in and dive deep when a planet gets in a zodiac sign, because you're going to need, like, everybody, you guys, including myself, because when you're studying this art, you want to gain more. Like, dude, like, this art, right, is not filled. This occultic magic isn't filled for me, right? And it never will be. I'm pretty sure every, like, type of astrologist feels the same way. But with that being said, I'm definitely just going to look again. Like, if I take this shit off, right, I look good. Right now, I kind of look hit. I'm focused on pros. Okay. Anyways, pros and the characteristics of Sun, Moon, and Ascendant Taurus. Financially independent. Alright, so this sign, even though it is a feminine sign, okay, and what I mean by feminine, alright, so let me just give a quick feminine and masculine check when it comes to, I would say, zodiac terms. Now, when you get to a feminine planet or feminine zodiac sign, meaning just count, the magic trick is just count 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, right? That's all those signs right there. All those numbers right there are connected to a sign. Those are all feminine. Alright, those are all feminine zodiac signs. And what is kind of feminine nature? And just the principal terms of just natural life. Codependence. That is the natural feminine nature, of course. Not saying that it can't be independent. I am saying in terms of astrological terms and just life terms, a normality of that meaning is codependent. Okay? When you get to the masculine, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and 11. Right? Those are all masculine. So in zodiac terms, those are independent. Just mean independent. More masculine means independent. More feminine energy means codependent. But for this specific sign, it is the sign of your own pockets. Your own money. How much money you have, how much money you gain, how much money you lose. Right? What is your hidden tricks that nobody knows of how you gain your money? What is your secret ways? Whether it's through a colleague, whether it's through an organization, whether it's through going through court and you won a case and didn't tell nobody. Like, I'm just saying, like, just in general, what is your hidden money assets and what is your natural day-to-day assets of what you have? Because Venus and Mars are pretty quick. Venus owns two zodiac signs, which is Taurus and Libra, and Mars is the opposite. It owns 2 zodiac signs, which is Aries and Scorpio, and both planets are opposite for each other for for a reason. Not just bad, not just good, but it's just a natural, it's literal understandability, you know. Now, when I say this sign is financially independent, I mean that the universe will give these people this type of placement of natural inclinations towards drawing. They will have, and each zodiac sign has powers. Like I said, Aries has powers. This zodiac sign, again, they will have some type of orbit of closivity, where monetary gains of items, personal items, and just anything that is with, again, the natural 5 senses of life. Okay? And why is this feminine planet? Again, because of it represents you too. First house and second house does represent you. And not only reason, and one of the other reasons why it represents you is, of course, first house just represents naturally you. But when you add in, when you go to the second house, see, the first house, always look at the 7. See, each zodiac sign always tries to grab, always try to reach for the opposite house. Okay? If your first house, You have too much energy, you have too much things. If you have a lot of planets, or you have too many planets there, to where it feeds you constantly, somehow, in some way, in universe terms, of where you're fed in that house too much, to where if you don't have any in your opposite sign, you start to, I would say, fiend for your other sign. Okay, so with that being said, second house is eighth. Second, the opposite of second house is eighth house. That's what I'm trying to say. So it is. So with that being said, this sign will have financial immediate losses. We're not on cons. This sign will have financial immediate gains. Okay. Whether it was a technique when they were of age to gain their money, to gain secret money inhibitations, or any other way, any other format, to where they can say no of where they are, you know. 5 body senses are off the chart. So with any planets in this sign, your 5 body senses is God level. Okay, you're in the 5 body senses. Again, I know I said in the past, but I'm gonna say it again. A lot of this shit is gonna be repeated until, again, I gain more knowledge. 5 body senses is, of course, your smell, your taste, your touch, your sight, and your hearing. And not only the pro of this sign to have 5 bodies, like senses, off the charts, they will have some sort of connection to the not only afterlife, but the life in the middle, before you die all the way thoroughly. Okay, it's fuck, I forgot what the fuck it's called, man. Okay, what I'm trying to say is these signs will be connected. They will have like some connection to like their body senses, the natural God-given senses that everybody is given. Yes, everybody has good, but this sign takes it to where another level, to where they can read through like they are connected, and seeing and connected to the afterlife and the middle life of the afterlife before you die. I forgot what it's called. I know for a fact that when this video ends, I'm going to know what the word is. Okay, but the pros of that is they could, like, again, they can gain stuff through losses. Okay, they can again, with the financially independent thing that I wrote, they can make somebody else's losses and transform it into a Hulk, transform it into something that has never been foreseen by anything or anybody before. Okay, and these are the pros. This is the pros video. This is the second house at one of the like, I'm talking about every house as far as pros at the highest degree, the highest powers, the highest of heights. Like the people you see, it's like, damn, that's the sun, moon, or ascendant in that house. Oh snap! Like, but yeah, they will have research. They will have resources that is so independent. Again, this time poses ownership, because it's all about what you have. Okay, what you've brought out. Okay. Second house poses good investments. Okay. Good money techniques. Okay, is one of the other things with second house. Okay, Okay. Second house is also enhancement in voice, tone manipulation, or articulation reasons. Okay, so this sign is very artsy, okay, with beautification of voice. So this sign has some distinctive, out of the norm type of voice, body, or look. Okay. Anyways, so one of the pros again is, like, I would say voice manipulation. They are very good at changing voice, modifying voice again, just making it like, these are, like, again, pros is like voice actors. Okay, tones is like voice actors, you know, because they're so known for how they speak. Okay, it's enchanting. Okay, of basically modification of, not only we're gonna say demands of Aries, but second house is, you can add that to second house and put some sort of, you know, kind of sort of magic feel on it a little bit, you know, because it has 8th house looking at it. So with that being said, 8th house is looking at second is looking at 8th. The modification of receiving feedback is maybe draw land 2 times. Okay, just off of speaking. Okay, resources and valuables are enormously enhanced, but yet mellow and hidden. So a good pro for this sign is, again, hidden wealth, hidden resources that nobody knows about at all. Okay, not only that, it's techniques that is apprehended, meaning like it is given praise, but it is, second house is given praise, but also second house knows viewership of not many people of doing things. You know what I mean? Because it looks at 8th house. It's, second house is steady, but it's, second house isn't, pros of second house is steady, or like not even slow, steady. We're just gonna, if we have to be real, this, if we're gonna, I'm gonna take for example this picture. A bull isn't like slowed at all. They're actually very fast. The freak, they're very quick, very fast. They're very steady. That's what I'm saying. Being a pro of this sign could mean very, like, seeing a sight of whatever you are trying to conceal is very concentrative. Okay, if you have any planets in this specific zodiac sign, it could be very concentrating. Okay, and very zoned in. All right. Now, resources and valuables. Oh, did I read that? Yeah, I did. Super resourceful with any type of resource, item, information, or literal thing. So, again, if you need information, for example, if I went up to somebody who has a lot of planets in the second house, alright, and I brought an item, I brought it to them, alright, I break it, right, gonna heat them up. It really depends on how valuable it is. Okay? What the fuck do I do? Super. Also, the pros of being in signs is just having items that is needed. Okay? This planet holds luxury items just like the second house. Okay? And both have similarities of how they do their things. Okay? How they do their personal items. Alright? But what I'm trying to say is this house will have items for emergency situations. Or not just that. Situations to where it is not just emergency, but it is needed for a good reason, for somebody important, somebody intimate, even if it's not their partner. Second house, it could be for somebody very close to them. Okay, so they can have a valuable information, valuable connection, valuable connections too. I don't know why I didn't put that. Okay, so valuable connections. Alright, I want to add that in. When I say valuable information, right, this is the type of information where you wouldn't think, like, in this suppose, you wouldn't think that it would work, right, but all of a sudden, this type of piece of information could set you for a long time. This type of way of information, whatever this second house individual is pro at, this type of thing that they focus on or they give advice on, could be one of the best pieces of information if you focus in, if you're close to them, that you've heard, if that makes sense. Alright, and these when I go to pros and cons, these are only for the ones who are really a pro person. What is a pro person when I say that? Okay, a pro person is somebody who is normally on the pro side. Okay, who is so on the pro side. And yes, you're gonna tell me, everybody got cons, and also cons too. This is where ones too, when I go to the next video, who are completely on the con side. Again, for the people who's watching, this is not a video for anybody who is in the middle of any sign I'm naming. Okay, there is middle to both the pros and cons. Like, there is a middle that I could put up there for you guys, of like the middle zone of like the normal zone of each zodiac sign. Okay, this is for like the real bad cons, the people who like, thank God I'm doing bad, and then the real people who is like, thank God I'm doing good. Like, thank God I want to do good. I want to do better. I try to do better. I can't do better. And then hey, when you're in a pro mode, you'll be pro mode. When you're in a con mode, not saying some people can't be, like, you can't be that all the time, but also too, there's a middle mode of both mixed in. Alright? I know that makes no sense. But anyways, again, like, birthdays, like, again, these are people who, like, who's there, who's grounded, and the people they choose to be close with lives. Alright, these are the natural pros. Alright, Okay, super gorgeous, or of course handsome in tone of voice, or of course literal looks of oneself, self-grounded in terms of self-look in life. So these are the people who are like, they don't even, these are people who are stunning and beautiful too, don't get me wrong. Like look is just like, skin is clear. If he's a man, he has like super height, and height is Venus. Yes, height is Venus. Why is height Venus? You gotta ask me. Height is Venus because you're measuring. Venus is measuring. You're measuring how tall somebody is. Okay, that is preference. That is a way of beautification, a way of looking good in somebody's eyes. If you're a man, you like short women. If you're a woman, you like tall men. That makes sense. That's Venus influence, because that's your love. Again, Venus in astrology is your love language, and it has that type of it has its own preference in your chart. Right? It wants sexual in an artistic way of your own manifestation way. Okay. Okay. Voice could be majestic. So I put in tone of voice, or of course look, and one so self-grounded. So voice could be very, very sensual. Again, majestic. Very like, again, what's the word? Very like unique. Very like different. Okay. Voice can be highly either undistinctive or like nowhere near distinctive. Like never heard of this person before. Like I believe like Venus can kind of be like Mars, where it's like even though they're opposites, they're still kind of alienated. That's why I'm saying this sign will have this a complexity of voice magic of aliens or alienated type of thing, you know. Immune to deception or hidden reality. So because of 8th house, and because of 8th is looking at 7 and vice versa, you will take that in a sense of these people are so connected with Mother Earth. They're so connected with the spirit of Earth, the spirit of life force. Because the sun is life force, Aries is life force. I get it. I understand it. I really do. I understand what you guys are saying. I understand that no, you can't do that. What I'm trying to say is this sign will have the birth of valuable life force when they are born. Some signs, hey, you gotta work hard to get it. You know, you gotta work hard to be who you are. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes they gotta do that. They gotta do that. You know, the pro of this sign, if you're on a pro side, you come in this earth gifted value, natural value. Who you are is valuable. So with that being said, the universe is so enforced in you that you know deception before it hits you most of the times. Okay, that's one of the pros. You know some things because this is like the lucid dreamers. Like Venus is like the lucid, but these are the people who like lucid dream in reality. Okay, lucid dreamers in reality. Yeah, we're gonna get, and I know what you're thinking. No, you can't do that. You can't move that. That's 12th house. That's 12th house is. That's That's Pisces. I can. I will. And the reason why is because they're all connected. That's why. They're all connected. There's nothing wrong. You know. Everything is connected in this world. So again, these are people who, again, like, who has valuable soul substance. Okay. Or trying to get there, and will, of course, once had it or whatever. But our literal looks is self-grounded in terms of self-look. So again, these are the people who are extremely, if you're a pro in Taurus, extremely confident, extremely acknowledgeable. Okay? Extremely extremely what did I say? Handsome tone of us closely. Self-grounded in terms of self. Extremely, like, understandable of what they want to look like and how they look. Okay? One of the pros is they will dress how they live, and they will live how they see. Okay, so that's one of the pros of the big three. All right, of course, looks of oneself, self-grounded in terms of self-looking, like immune to deception or hidden reality. Again, like hidden realities, like it's hard to, when zoned in, it's really hard to break. Not even break, but like kind of like throw self off, if that makes sense, because this sign is so focused in for a feminine sign. One of the hardest feminine signs too. A lot of, and believe it or not, in the Zodiac terms, a lot of feminine signs are yeah, they're feminine, but they can be very masculine too, especially if they have planets. But seeing through the answer, that's one of the good pros of this placement of the second house. Seeing through the answer, seeing where your answer, seeing where you want your answer to lie, seeing where you want your answer to lie. Prone to know people's psychological pleasures and weaknesses. So this sign is gifted because the five body senses is so, like, at a steady high capacity for the ones that's enlightened. That is second house. These people will know specifically the pleasures and weaknesses of their intimate partners or their hidden enemies. Or like, and when I say intimate people, not even just that, they're like the people that that is day to day with them. Okay. One of the most dominant signs with dominant signs with helpful karmic law to gain or give family resources. So this sign has karmic law to give pros on helping people in their family, and not just saying that. I'm saying that to say there's people in their livelihood, people they grew up with. Family doesn't just have to mean people who are connected in blood. I am talking about people you've known for, like, alright, let's say at one time 8 years old to 11 years old, and that point are 8 years old to 12 years old, and that was one of the closest people you've ever met before, right? To where y'all reconnected again, and now y'all still good, and y'all forever family, y'all forever intimate, forever close. That's family, okay? The most dominant helpful signs, come on again, so again, this is one of the most like extreme, like the most number one extremely, when it's that pro, extremely resourceful sign. Again, it don't just have to be what they have. This sign is also extremely gifted into knowing, not even knowing, that's Sag, seeing the answer, like seeing the conscious answer for other people's that they care about. Okay, they have that gift for gab once they care. Okay, one of the most valuable ego. I already put it in there, or assertion. So again, valuable energy just in general too. All right, great with foods, whether it is making food or of course judging. All right, so since second house is connected with food and of course clothing, like clothing, or I would say like looks, or like designing and clothing. That's what I'm just trying to say. But what also I'm trying to say is with the pros of this is good cooks, good like drink makers, anything that is related to consuming in the mouth. Good like drug, like good like like drug judgers, okay, or more like, because anything invitation, like anything entering the mouth, so anything that needs a dominant answer, okay. Or anything that is needing for judging of how valuable, what is the set price, what is the set market, okay. This is one of the good signs of the second house. Alright, if you're in here, feel free to comment, guys. You guys can say anything, just don't be disrespectful, okay. Because if you be disrespectful to me, then I might cry. You don't want me to cry. Alright, so again, these are the chefs. These are the chefs. These are the people. Venus is the people you want to be in the kitchen. Okay, because it kind of gives that like that aesthetic look to the food, but also that type of like, okay, I know this is not generic, if that makes sense. I know this ain't the worst of the worst. You get what I'm saying? Because Venus has that expectation of quality. Okay, one of the pros of the second house is quality. Okay, what makes something quality? What makes something quality? Okay. Also, too, good at judging with possession of money of all sorts. Also, how long have I been alive? 44. Okay, it's time to close this out. Also phenomenal at coming back from traumatic losses, whether with partner or people within livelihood. Ownership of all sorts. So again, with ownership, second house is what you own. So necessarily, right? If I go to the store, I buy a drink, I own that now. Necessarily, right? It's what you have, right? Skin is again, we already went over that. Skin is beautified, toned out, look good. Also, your sexual organ could be very very noticeable in a state of beautification too, male and female. Okay. Tone is specified in a charismatic way. Smell, and of course luxury taste in clothing, or of course jewelry. So one of the pros of the sign is a lot of like scales of jewelry, or like data money, you know, like not data money, but like currency, online currency, connections to past life accommodations. So being in second house kind of gives you like past life accommodations, rewards, things that you might have done in your past life that was good, you know, things that went unnoticed. Okay, this carries out to the pros in your present life. Extremely steady. Family will have some sort of familiarity, and I mean, again, family will have some sorts of familiarity with wealth. And again, people, wealth, money, wealth can go in. Alright, the word wealth is not just money. Okay, it is, but it's not just that. Wealth could be longevity of health. Okay, that's wealthy. Wealth is looking like the same person you look like when you was 20, and now you're 40 years old. That is not only, of course, your self wealth, but that is family wealth. Okay, because it's through your blood. Okay. Wealth is being able to always say on your deathbed that, like, I've always been free, I had a good life. That's wealth. Alright, so family will have some sort of type of wealth. Whether it's you got a lot of bad in your life, family will have some sort of present wealth that is hidden, that is being worked upon, that the universe granted. Okay. Secret personal techniques of money gain, or not just that, secret techniques of life gain. Alright, again, I know I said life is, again, all the fire, but earth life, the things you see every day, that is Venus. The things you touch, you smell, your favorite things of that, your favorite things of just what makes you feel alive. That is the second house. Second house pros is a sensibility of what makes life feel alive. Okay, what makes life not dead? Why is life making second house feel alive? They feeling alive. Okay. Feeling alive and also feeling alive could also be a subjugation of second house. I mean, of wealth. Okay, that's what I'm saying. I'm not just, just spitting things out. Yeah, I think that's it with pros. Second house. We're going to go into the cons of second house later today or tomorrow. I love you guys. I will more than likely put out every single video of pros and cons. I will definitely make a part 2 of every single pros and cons of the zodiac sign. And also too, I will be doing a sun in transit in Leo and Virgo in a couple of days. Give me some time. I love you guys. I'll be back very soon. Peace.